This is so exciting. And we're
This is
live. Okay. I'm going to wait for it to load just a little bit. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
If you're just joining us live, my name is Carly. This is Jules from Sprout Studio. We have Autumn Bri with us. Autumn is an IPS educator. She is the creator of IPS Warriors, and she is here to teach us all things IPS in-person sales strategy. We're going to wait. We have one viewer. We'll just let people join the chat right now. But Autumn, you're Canadian, so you're up in Toronto area, right?
Yeah, this is exciting because we've got two Canadian businesses here.
Yes. How's the weather up there right now? I have to ask.
It's off and on. It's been quite mild actually lately.
I love
Like
it.
it's been pretty mild, yeah.
The last 2 days have been like rainy and everything's melting, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, there was freezing rain, I think, 2 days ago, but the roads were really clear, but the sidewalks were super icy.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of terrifying, actually. Yeah. Canadian winters. Okay, we'll wait a little bit longer for people to join us.
No worries. Yeah, so you guys have anything exciting this week coming up?
This week, we actually have we have a community throwdown. So a big vision for Sprout this year is really putting community first. Obviously, you're here with us, and so really just spotlighting our users and all the incredible things that they're doing. So we have a bunch of ideas that we, the growth team, so the marketing team, support team, and product team have put together, and we're throwing them out there. We're having a throwdown, and essentially we call things in like different colored hats, which is like very interesting. So we have green hats, we have blue and white hats, we have black hats. It's just a really nice way to not like tear down ideas. So giving the green light space, the green hat space of being like, yeah, anything can go. Blue and white are like, okay, let's assign like people, time, and money to it. And then black hats are like any kind of like fears or things that like might not work through. And then we go and we have our ideas by the end of it. So
it's a good process.
Cool.
Yeah.
One thing I like about you guys have these creative, like cool things to implement.
Yeah. Last week we had a really nice lunch and learn too. We're always doing fun things, so we're now trying to bring that more so into the community. So
That's cool.
Shanika.
That's cool.
Good morning,
so
Shanika.
long.
Shanika's with us. Woo, we love Shanika. Okay.
I feel like you need to have like a Sprout camp.
Yes. Oh my God, like a Sprout retreat.
A Sprout summer camp.
Okay, so listen to this. Right before COVID, we were supposed to have our own event, and so we wanted to start it off in like Niagara, and they're called Sprout Ups. And right before it was like the March break, and like there was talk of the pandemic happening. And we're like, oh, should we put it off? Like, we don't know what this thing is. And we're like, okay, why don't we just delay it for the month? We'll come back the week after. Everyone take an extended March break. Bring your laptops home just in case. And like, we didn't come back to the office for like 6 months. We're like, oh,
years later.
Yeah. So hopefully maybe Sprout Ups can be a thing soon. But 100%, we need to like bring all the community together for sure. Yeah. Hi, Eden. Good morning.
Good morning.
Am I the only one hearing echo on Autumn's end? I think I have auto echo cancellation. Oh, here, let me do this. That helps. Autumn, can you speak for us, please?
Hello.
Yeah.
Talk.
Hi, Jakevius.
Jakevius.
Yay, we love Jakevius.
Better?
Welcome. Okay, beautiful. I feel like that's better. I turned the echo cancellation off, so that should be working. But let's get into it. I want to reintroduce Autumn. So my name, first of all, is Carly. I'm the Director of Growth here at Sprout. I have Jules with me.
Hello.
She is our Partnership and Outreach Coordinator. And of course, we have Autumn Bri with us today. She's teaching us all things of IPS Warriors. I first want to go into like where we met Autumn.
Yeah.
We went to the GTA conference, which is held in Toronto last year. And Autumn, you actually went to go see her talk.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of hearing Autumn speak. You are such a incredible speaker. Like, I'm excited for our community to just get to hear you talk because me going to your event, not being a photographer, I got so much out of it, and I felt like I got to know you just as a person so much better. Like, you were so raw and vulnerable, and
like just like impact.
Thanks.
yeah,
So,
like I still remember it. Yeah.
Are you coming over to our side, Jules? Gonna be a photographer soon?
we talk about that all the time. The growth team, there's a few photographers that work for Sprout, but like the growth team, we're a bunch of creatives, but sometimes we're like, should we dabble in that? So yeah, we'll pick up
we'll welcome you with open arms.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Autumn, start by telling us a little bit about your journey.
Okay, sure. So I've been a photographer since 2010. I actually fell into photography, I would say by accident, but I feel like nothing's by accident. So not really, but I didn't intend to be a photographer. I was running a 1 week program for kids with behavioral and emotional needs that weren't accepted into summer camp from other platforms or other organizations. So what I did is I created a summer camp for these kids that were high needs, that needed a camp experience, that didn't necessarily have the finances, and it was an acting and arts camp. So after the second run, my partner said, why don't we offer some type of like headshot type of thing to do like a Hollywood Walk of Fame for their final showcase. Well, we were like, we need a camera to do that. So we got not like a super fancy Nikon camera, but like an early kind of entry Nikon camera.
Okay.
I did the kids' headshots. The parents loved the photos because they were just like, this is so nice to have. A lot of the kids were autistic in the program, so a lot of them weren't able to make eye contact even in their family photos at home. So the fact that I was able to get them to connect with the camera, the parents were so ecstatic about it.
That's so
and I started getting calls like, can you do my family photos? Can you do our kids' photos? And I'm like, I'm not a photographer, but sure.
Yeah.
And then it just started really growing from there. And eventually I got into newborn photography and then wedding photography and then boudoir photography. Did everything. I'm just, very.
You did it all before the pandemic too. You know, like how the big word the pandemic
product
was
photography, pet photography. But then I really found my love in newborn and maternity. So that's what my business, Autumn Bri Photography, focuses on. Originally, as most photographers do, I started as an all-inclusive photographer, knocking out 20 plus sessions a month, tired, only making $200 from a session, very not profitable with those margins. And I started getting into IPS. I think I heard or saw something in like a photography group about it. And that's where it really sparked my interest. And then it was when I actually seen Brian talk at the GTA conference that I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. I need to change my whole mindset about how I'm pricing myself and really get into more of a personable experience with my clients. I didn't feel like I was getting that from the all-inclusive model. It felt very transactional, very robotic. So then I started getting into IPS, and I've been teaching now about a year after I got into it in 2016 is when I started teaching, because I actually understood the strategies and the principles really well. And I would share it with other photographers, and they were like, teach me that. Like, teach me more about it. And then I realized, like, okay, I have something here. I'm really good at teaching. I'm very well spoken. Why not teach other people what I'm learning and what I've learned so that they can level up in their own businesses as well. So that's my little spiel about me.
I love it. Love it. That was amazing. I feel like as well, you're an incredible storyteller. As like that's a big thing in marketing and marketing strategy. And so, especially with like the stories you told from the camp and like just like throughout your journey as a photographer, I think that's why like strategy has really like stuck with you so well while you're able to like elevate your experience. So
definitely.
Cool. Okay. Well, what made you want to create IPS Warriors? So you had a lot of people reaching out and saying like, teach me. How does your course differ from like any other IPS? Like, how did you kind of like shape that to where you were kind of giving people probably like just tips and tricks and like, hey, this is what I'm doing, to like this actual course now, IPS Warriors, this living, breathing thing that's like, by the way, humongous, so huge, so much like impact, information, tactics, actions, like mental, like mindfulness that's wrapped in there. I'll let you take the wheel on that. But what made you create it, and how have you, like, what makes it different?
So I think the main thing for me is I actually pulled one of my characteristics about just me as a person. I love transparency. I'm very transparent about even my mental health journey on my photography page. And a lot of people, when I started doing that, it was very taboo. You don't mix and mingle that type of information with your clients. And I took the leap to do that right from the beginning when I was going through a mental health crisis. And I seen the impact of doing that just through that process alone. So then I said, what can I do to kind of tie that into teaching? How can I make those connections and make people feel like real people and not like I'm just a teacher, not a human being, and you're the student? Like, how can we connect on that deeper level? So the one thing that I really love about IPS Warriors is I share everything that I went through trying to transition to be successful in IPS. So there's no just, rainbows and butterflies. It's the good, the bad, the ugly, the times I cried in my car after I didn't get the sale that I thought I wanted or I thought I was going to get.
Right.
The times that my structure and my pricing wasn't where it was supposed to be, and then I was actually in the negatives and profit at the end of the year. Little things like that I feel like a lot of people are scared to share because they feel like they're less credible because they've had those moments. But I feel that if anything, I'm more credible because I'm a human being and I can connect with people on that real level. And there's going to be photographers that join this course that they're terrified. They're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I want them to know that, hey, I've been there. Come to me. Let me help you overcome that. Like that's the vibe I want to have in the course and in the community group.
Yeah, vulnerability is very empowering, and I think your superpowers is taking your vulnerability and saying, "Here you go. I understand you." Yeah,
Love
For
it.
sure.
Next question. So we have a little list of questions over here. Actually, I want to pause for a moment and just say if we have any comments in the chat. If you guys have any questions for Autumn, for us, leave them in the comments because we can read them out below. But good to know. Thank you, Jakevius. The echo is better, so I'm happy that worked.
Yes.
Hooray.
Awesome.
where are we at?
So feeling photographers will benefit from your course. 100% that like authenticity is definitely there from you, Autumn. But tell us about when we first kind of talked about the course and the excitement of it and how you were packaging it and putting it together. Talk about the format. And there's a special part in it too that I really love, and we were just before going live, we're talking about it, but go ahead and deep dive into the format and then I'll kind of give my thoughts on why I think it's brilliant.
Okay, awesome. So when I was thinking of putting together the content, I was trying to think and brainstorm how can it be, engaging to every type of learner, but also not like a professor and students. Like I wanted it to be a little bit better than that. So I actually have experience. I had a travel YouTube channel that I was doing the past couple of years,
Cool.
and I out of doing that and the experience of doing my YouTube, I've learned a lot of editing skills that were really engaging for the viewers. So the way that I edited my videos is very cut, like only the info you need is there, and it's very like quick to cut, so it's very engaging, and every time it cuts there's new information. So that's kind of how the video style is edited, but I also have PowerPoints throughout the lessons, there's audio, and there is a comprehensive student workbook. Honestly, I'm like looking at it now and I'm like, woo, I put out a lot because there's so much in there. But the student workbook, I tried to do it in a way, in a format so that you can literally follow along as you complete the lessons. And as I'm teaching, you can be working on your own workbook and your own answers for your business and brand as well. So yeah,
I love it. There's when we kind of talked about at the beginning, you set it up in a way where it's like you're teaching the things and there's almost this transition, and where it's like now it's like the actual actionables, like that workbook that you talked about. So taking your learning and actually setting into progress, that's where you build consistency. And it reminds me of a book that I'm reading right now that we just chatted about. Every chapter there's an actionable. So now I'm creating this commitment to this book and this commitment to myself. So I love that about your course.
Thank you.
And I
just to add, sorry, go ahead.
No, I
I was
kind
gonna
of
say,
just like
go ahead.
I just wanted to sneak peek that for this, not only Sprout users, but for all your students that hit that transition mark, there is that little bit of a gift from Sprout to celebrate your progress and that milestone. So there's going to be a little Sprout goodie that all of the students get at that transition piece, so that can motivate you.
My
There was
fireworks.
Yeah, what was that thing at the beginning of COVID where people didn't want to clap, so they they
The
wiggled.
wiggles. Yeah.
Oh, that was the thing.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
wow. Yeah, bringing me
Throwback
back.
there.
Yeah. Anyways, let's not go back there.
Let's not go back.
I was going to add to about format. So there is a exclusive VIP community support group that is specifically for students that are already enrolled in the IPS Warriors course. There will be additional content added there. There will also be updates added to the course. So once you're in, any updates that are added into the course, you are a lifetime member of it. So you get the updates as well. And in the VIP community support group, I actually had just talked to Kennedy, my social media manager, about this yesterday. What we're going to be doing is a monthly draw based on engagement. So the top 5 people that engage the most in the group will be entered into a draw, and I will pull a name for a 1-hour one-to-one private lesson with them. So it can be, specifically to IPS Warriors. It can be specifically to something that, they need to work out in their business that I can help them overcome. And that will be monthly. So that's going to help people get really, engaged in what's being posted.
That's so valuable. Yeah. Wow, I love that. Also, so 2 things I want to mention as well. At the end of the course, we are going to do a draw for a Sprout Unlimited plan and also a runner-up prize. So you can also win a free plan for a year. Everything that you kind of teach and apply in your course, you can bring into Sprout and have your workflow, your strategy, everything aligned, which is super exciting. And then the second thing you mentioned the VIP group. So if you guys want to go and search, and maybe Lauren, I know Lauren's watching, she can put the IPS Warriors Facebook group, which you're going to want to join. You get access to the pre-launch. If you're a Sprout user, you get, and then a bonus $50 off. And then the VIP group, once you're actually registered and paying, that's where you'll have your updates and all the kind of exclusive goodies in there. So just there's the 2 groups, because I know I searched it last week and I was like, ooh, what's this VIP group? So now we know. I'm like, I want to be a part of it.
So just to let people know how you would get into the VIP group is once you register for the course, you're going to get an order number. You would just enter your order number in, and then admins would let you in, so then you have access.
Love that. Super smart. Okay.
I just popped back on to the comments, and Autumn, I have a question for you from Eden. They're asking, how long was your transition period into IPS, or did you just dive into it full force? I want to get into it, but I'm terrified.
So that's a really good question, because no matter what stage you are in your business, whether you're a brand new photographer, you've been established for 10 years, but you have yet to do IPS, I always say that there is at least a 3 to 6, if not 12-month window of consistently working on it. It's kind of like a process. And it takes time to really get that momentum where you're like, hey, okay, I'm comfortable and this is really working for me. In the beginning, you will see, people you're in your desired market starting to understand what you're doing and starting to give word, but it's not going to be completely consistent for a few months. It does take some time. However, I was going to mention this later when you asked me the following questions, but in the transition module of the course, there's over 10 lessons on how to transition, including strategies that will help you supplement your income as you make that slow transition, so you're not completely broke.
Wow.
So I do give you guys those strategies. Yeah.
I love that. Can you do that for the housing market here in Canada? Give us a course on that. When you go to buy a house, how do you get not broken between getting the house? Yeah. That's great.
I love that. I should. That's a good idea.
Speaking of the type of content and the lessons you kind of mentioned there in the modules, can you speak to maybe a few, and maybe the ones that kind of surround Sprout? I know that you have a module or a lesson on automations. What type of information or content can students expect? And also, can you talk a little bit about the mindfulness lesson too? Just because again, going into the healing era of 2023, I feel like we're finally out of the the nonsense.
Yeah.
If you
So
can.
I'll start with the mindset module. So there's 13 modules. Each module tackles a different area of IPS. We start with the mindset and the foundation, which is literally the basics of anything business, not just IPS, that every business owner needs to know before they branch into the fun stuff, as I call it.
Yeah.
In the video, I actually call it the hard shit. Let me just be honest. Or the boring shit is what I call it, because that's what it is. Yeah, it's the dry, like, oh, I don't want to do this. I just want to know how to make money. But it is the stuff that is absolutely necessary in order to get your business to scale and be sustainable. So we start with the mindset. The mindset, the reason I dove into that, yes, we need to know the mindset, but I dove into it on a level of people need to address traumas and the stuff that's hard in their personal life in order to be a successful business owner. And it's not talked about enough. It is so highly interconnected. People don't realize how connected it is. They're like, why didn't this client book? Well, because you're fighting with your husband 5 minutes before you come on the live. You don't think that energy transfers over?
100%.
Right. So we talk about, your limiting beliefs. We also talk about what I call thought monsters, which is your cognitive, like thought patterns and the way that you think about things, and why. And we really dive in deep as to where did these thoughts come from? When's the first time you thought of this, or you thought of things this way? Why do you think it happened, and what can we do to fix it so that it doesn't affect your business long term? So I go pretty deep. Almost counseling like.
I love that. Yeah.
So I joke around and say the mindset module, yes, it's about IPS, but it's crossing into self-help as well, which is really good. And it's to build onto that transparency, that vulnerability, and really connecting with people in a way that maybe they've never really kind of dove into before. In addition to that, we have the foundation module. So the foundation module is talking about your cost of doing business. And I know a lot of photographers have done their cost of doing business. I have found a way to do it in a completely different way that I have not yet seen it taught. I don't only break down your annual and monthly numbers. I break down what you should be making per session genre. So if you're doing a wedding versus an event, what should those numbers look like? And what is the minimum required in order to be sustainable and profitable with that genre? A milestone session versus a newborn session. So I break it down that specifically. And we also talk about how to scale. So, looking at your net profit and your gross profit margins, what does that actually mean? Because, these words are thrown around, but a lot of people aren't educated on these things. So I go into a lot about financial literacy in a way. And then we move into the fun stuff. So
not the boring shit, the fun.
Yeah, not the boring shit. So the client experience. We go into products. So how to choose a lab, how to choose your product. How do you know the lab is good for you? We go into the infrastructure, which is where Sprout is. All your content's going to be. So exactly how I use Sprout to do my meetings and how I use Sprout to engage with my clients, specifically how I do it. Obviously, there's a million ways to use Sprout, but I go through the process of what works for me. And then also other platforms who are also sponsoring the the course, which is Fundy and Animoto. So how I use Fundy's platform to album design, how I use them to do wall art mockups, how I use Animoto to do my slideshows, Zoom, how I do my Zoom meetings, all of that. Then we go into consultation. We go into the shoot itself, how you can level up your shoot to feed back into getting that sale to solidify at the reveal. Then we go into the reveal. We go into organization hacks, which is important as well. So little things that I've implemented in my business to make things easier for organization, the transition. So that's going to be looking at your affirmations, replanning your goals, strategies for transitioning so you're not completely broke, how to get luxury clients, even though luxury is a subjective term, but what does that look like? How can you start securing and attracting your ideal clients? So all of the good stuff, and marketing, of course. I forgot to mention marketing.
Holy
so one thing everybody bothers is their marketing. Is there?
Of course. Oh my goodness. I have to say, like, first of all, whoa, with all of that. You're really you're giving people not only like the strategy, but like the tools and like the copy and paste. Like if you take what I've done and like what I've learned that like works and apply it to yourself. But I love all of that. It's almost like this, it's sitting right here, but it's on the foundation of this like mindfulness that is just like setting you up for like not burning out, because you could do all of those things and it could feel more like overwhelming. But having that foundation where you're looking at things and having a different approach to opportunity and abundance, I think is such a smart move, and it just makes me so excited. I'm like jealous of all the photographers that get to take this course.
I even have, there's even lessons on when they go ghost, what to do when there's buyer's remorse, what to do when there's buyer's remorse, when they go ghost. And sorry, there's one more, burnout recovery, how to recover from burnout. So those are really, important, because you're going to have clients that ghost you, but how do you convert a ghosting client into a converted client? So what do you do once they ghost you? So I really did try and think about every aspect of the process possible. And with the pre-launch, I am so open because, again, transparency is number one for me. The same way, people are going to have questions for me and want, additional information about how they can navigate the modules. I also want feedback on what's working. What did you like? What didn't you like? So I can refine it and update it. So while you're in the course, if there's something that's not being answered or something that's not 100% clear, I can refine that lesson and re-add it in, or I can bring it to the VIP group and talk more about it.
Love that. Let's go to the comments quick.
Just pop back.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. So Eden says in all capitals, "You have me sold. I am so excited."
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes. Energy is everything, 100%. And how you transfer energy is huge. What you just said about like having a fight pre-hand, and like people feed off each other's energy. So 100%.
Anika's excited too. Love. Okay, I got a question for you, Autumn, from Stacy. They're asking, what if you're already doing IPS? I struggle with closing the sale.
Okay, so I did create IPS Warriors with newly transitioning photographers in mind, but also there are tons of lessons that already transitioned photographers can benefit from. Even if it's a lesson that you've taken it from another course, or there's a lesson that you're already really confident in, I can guarantee there's something you're going to learn. I just find that a lot of the ways that I even teach things, the feedback I've gotten from my one-to-one students is very different than what they've experienced in the past. And if there is a specific module that you feel like, hey, like that's the module I want to go for, that's what I want to, I kind of want to get all of my information from, then you can definitely pull what you need to from that specific module and apply it as you need to. And then if you have questions, add it to the VIP group, and then I can engage with you in a more clear manner that way as well. So there's something, I truly feel that there's something for everyone. And if there's specific questions, definitely go to our pre-launch group, comment, let me know what your specific challenges or questions are, so that, I can start thinking about things that I need to add in later on.
Yeah. The link that Lauren put into the comments, if you guys want to go there, so at least you can have more like geared information about the pre-launch. Stacy says, wonderful. Thank you. You can get the pre-launch deal. Let's quickly talk. I know that we scheduled this just for half an hour. I don't think this is our first time working with eCam. So this is like Brian Caparucci technology that we're working off of right now. I don't think it's going to kick it out like Zoom. But let's talk a little bit about the discounts, our collaboration, anything else. You kind of mentioned a few other sponsors that you have. Also, I kind of want to just give you kudos for being the first Canadian IPS educator that also has multiple discounts. I'm like shocked that more courses don't offer multiple discounts. But it must be because it's you.
So I'm all about, even when I do my in-person workshops, I've done an in-person IPS workshop a couple years ago. I also do a workshop series called The Art of Newborns. So any live workshops that I do, I always give swag bags. So I said, I need to give some type of swag to my students for IPS Warriors. So we are partnered with, I think there's 10 or 12 maybe different businesses, and there's more coming because I'm waiting for comments and feedback from other ones as well. So we have Greater Than Gatsby sponsoring us. They have presets actions with discount codes. We have Animoto, Fundy, Sprout. There's also Lindsay Williams presets. Her presets are gold, especially for newborn work. I love her style of presets. We also have Me Estella, which is a maternity wear, one of the biggest maternity wear vendors right now in the world, I would say. They're giving a discount code, and these are going to be exclusive to anybody who joins the group. You guys have access to the discount codes. You also are going to receive my free templates, Canva templates that are editable, so you can do your own pricing and session guides. You can literally add your own colors, your branding, your logo, change it however you want, and you guys are able to use it for your own business. You're also going to get email scripts, workflow templates. There's also email templates. I have a long list of what I include in my contract. There's also like what I include in my lab agreement when clients actually say they want to commit to buying the package, what I send them in order for that to be ordered, all of that. So that's what's going to be included. It's $750 USD for the pre-launch rate. That is only going to be offered to the Autumn Bri's IPS Warriors, the Ultimate In-Person Sales Course group. That is the pre-launch group. There will be a discount code added into that group. But if you are also currently a Sprout user, you can also get an additional $50 off within a 3-day window. So the launch is going to be January 30th until February 6th. That will be the $750 rate. But between January 30th and February 3rd, if you register, you'll get an additional $50 discount. There is payment plan option if you want to break up the payments as well to make it affordable.
Amazing. And we will make sure to, within that window and the whole last week of January, to be posting about it for you guys, to get you back on track or to get you back into that group. Just because even you just mentioned like how valuable even just email templates that you're giving away, your scripts for what you send for like even just closing a sale. Like those go on Etsy for like $200. So like you're giving that and then like a whole entire course and then a workbook and like on top of all of that the discounts and then just like you as a teacher, just like incredible value for this pre-launch price.
I also have a bonus thing I haven't even told you guys yet.
What?
That I want to share. So one thing with my one-to-one students that I have found absolutely valuable for them, and they've given me so much good feedback on, is I allow them to sit in on a live consultation or reveal. So they can see exactly what I do with my clients and how I respond to the difficult questions. So I intend to work with some of my upcoming clients to get some of their reveals and consultations actually recorded if they're comfortable with it. So I can have that as an update in the course. And you guys will actually see how I use myself, how I use my personality, how I ask engaging questions, how I get them and I lead them to a positive buying experience. So I'm going to add that all in too. So
that's like when you do a co-op class in high school, like your last year, you get the co-op and you're like, whoa, this is how I do it. This is
exactly. So I have, I've been teaching one-on-one for many years, and I actually have 3 one-on-one students right now I'm working with, and they just did their second reveal. What is it called? Like the shadowing of the reveal. And afterwards they were like, I get it now. Whoa, I get it. I 100% get it.
It all matches.
Like it really does make a difference seeing it, like seeing it in process, and just how I'm so casual. I don't sell. I'm very much like, what's up, homies? Like, you guys want an experience? This is what you're going to get.
I feel like people love that though. Yeah. And like the whole application as well. That's huge. Oh, that's so exciting. Well, thank you for sharing your bonus with us.
Just keeps getting better every time. Like you keep adding more stuff.
It will be added. So basically the course, just because I didn't mention it, the first 5 modules will open on the 30th. Because that's the hardest kind of modules with the foundation, the principles and all of that stuff. I'm going to release the last 3 modules, the last 6, 7 modules, 3 weeks after the first set is released, just to give them some time to get accustomed with everything. And then the rest will launch, and then I'll start adding updates. So that's when I'll start adding the client reveals and that kind of thing.
Oh, amazing. If anyone else has any more questions, we're going to wrap it up right now. So post them in the Facebook group. We do have one last question that we have written down here for Autumn. So what would you say to photographers that really wants to take the leap, but is hesitant on investing in the course? You kind of touched upon it a little bit, but I know you said you don't sell yourself, but sell yourself to us.
Just a little.
I'm gonna sell myself.
Yeah.
So what I would say is think back to that first time you picked up that camera and said you were going to be a photographer. The not knowing, the being overwhelmed, the being like, oh my gosh, this is scary shit. I'm about to quit my nursing job to be a photographer. That same feeling you had, you have it now. And what did you have to do to get to being successful and to the point you're at now is you had to just do things. You had to apply yourself. You had to learn the information, and then you just learn, and as you're going through the process, you make the changes in your business. Now, it is scary. It's obviously something new. It's normal for everyone to be afraid to kind of have a new transition. But I just say, as long as you apply yourself and you ask the questions that you need to, and you take advantage of the student workbook, and you don't just give up the first time a client says no, you're going to get there. There's nothing to do but go up. So what I would say is, what do you have to lose? If what you're doing now isn't helping you reach your current financial or business goals, what do you have to lose to try something different? Nothing. Nothing at all.
Oh, I love that. Okay, before we say our goodbyes, we're also going live. So me and Jules are going live with Autumn next week, Wednesday at 11 a.m. in her group. So make sure you click that link that Lauren posted, get added to the group. We have Brian actually wrote down some 5 tips and tricks that he uses for IPS. So we will reveal those there. We're going to talk a little bit more about the course. I'm sure you're going to have added more bonuses. You can talk about more discount codes, more sponsors.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure to join Autumn's group and attend our live. We would love our Sprout community to support me and Jules on Autumn's channels. Anything else? Press and pressure. Autumn Bri, a valuable offer that will last photographer entrepreneurs beyond the normal. Jakevius wrote that. Thank you, lady.
Thank you. And I do want to say too, because I do have past experience weddings. I'm getting a lot of questions from wedding photographers. Even though my business and brand now is focused on newborn and maternity, I'm still sharing what was successful for me when I was doing IPS as a wedding photographer. And I actually want the feedback from you wedding photographers. So if there's an area that you're having a challenge with that you really want me to educate you guys on, and you take the course, you don't see it's there, give me that feedback. I will make the content for it and I will put it out. That is my goal. Yes.
Amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much, Autumn, for joining us today.
Thank you.
This has been amazing.
I'm so grateful. I just want to let you guys know I'm so grateful for you guys. Let me tell everybody who's watching for a second how amazing Sprout is, because I literally just wanted a damn discount code. That's all I wanted. I was like,
no, we can do better.
I'm like, can I just get a 20% discount? Then they come back, actually, we want to market you. I'm like, whoa.
100%. It's community. 2023 is all about community.
I love that. And I love that we're both Canadian and we're coming together to do this. So thank you guys so much.
Of course. Yeah. No, since the moment we met you, you left an impact on us. So we just want to repeat that to as many people as possible, because of just the what was it, an hour course with you. So the fact that photographers get this whole package with you, I'm jealous. I know Lauren just wrote, I wish I was a photographer to take your course.
Yeah, same.
Lauren, you can still take it if you want to.
The mindset modules alone are worth.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys.
Of course.
We appreciate you right back.
Okay, well, make sure everyone you join Autumn's course or join the group so that you can join her course. We'll be posting about the pre-launch sale, the price, the extra $50 off, and the three door window that you have with us. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to attempt to end this. Perfect. Bye.